Yo, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the SBP. So glad you are checking us out. We are back for another round of talking some football. Today with me, I got my guy Did. You might recognize him. He's been here before, and we are glad to have him back. What's going on, man?
Oh, in the midst of a very sad season, I still rep my Patriots, but doing good otherwise. How are you?
I'm
Happy
good. I'm good. Also in the midst of a very sad season. But being a Cowboy fan, you expect the ups and the downs, and sometimes it's even a down season when you finish
Yeah.
12-5. It's still a down
Yeah,
season.
I definitely understand that too.
So of course that's definitely not happening this year. But yeah. So, but other than that, I'm good because I've already accepted that we are terrible. And this is pipe dream that everybody got going on. We can still make it. Why would you want to?
Yeah.
Why would you want to? Just let it go. Just let it go.
Yeah, at some point you gotta be like, sure, we can make a run, but what does that set us up for in the future? And it's just like sometimes you gotta play for next year.
Yeah, it's funny. We won a couple of games back to back, and we go from a possibly a top 5 or 6 draft pick to all of a sudden sitting to around about somewhere between 12 and 15 right now. So, and people always say, "You're messing up our draft. You're messing up our draft." And I'm like, I'm not 100% confident that we would probably select. If Jerry's pulling the strings, I'm not 100% confident we would select the player
that y'all need,
that you guys would want us to get anyway. You know, Ashton Genty's out there saying he wants to be a Dallas Cowboy, and we definitely need a running back on top of 7 other things. But just because he's publicly campaigning for Jerry to draft him, get out there and find a way to draft him, that means we wouldn't get him. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I know. I just saw on the big board he was 6, maybe 7. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many teams ahead of you guys are gonna need a running back. Look, we can use all the playmakers we can get, and I know we're gonna be finished ahead of you guys in the draft order. So look.
Well, hopefully, I'm hoping for you guys that Jawan to get his wish, and you guys end up with like Travis Hunter or something. Like
that. It would be beautiful. I'm holding out hope for that, but I'm also a little afraid Prime might be like, that ain't the city that we need my boys in. So,
well, Prime is already campaigning for the Raiders situation to draft both of his boys.
That's what I'm saying.
We know that started a while ago because Mark Davis was seen at a couple of WNBA games, and there's a couple of different occasions where he's talking to Shador, right? And one of them, there's audio, and he's telling how big of a fan he is of him, and he's been watching them. And then you sprinkle in the Brady effect. Because we know he's trained with Brady, and then Brady also has ownership in the Raiders. So that's the move. We know that's the move that the Raiders want to make.
Yeah, I feel like it's a foregone conclusion as long as things line up as needed. Like as long as the team doesn't try to undercut them, Shador is for sure in Vegas. Travis Hunter, obviously, they got to pull a little bit more strings in order to get that. So I really do hope with Juwan that New England can get him. But we've seen parents and parental figures tell a team that he not coming here, and they don't go there. So it's just I got that in the back of my mind, like, man, Prime might come out any day and say New England, no.
Yeah, I'd much rather have Shador, since I'm such a big fan, him in with the Raiders and not with the Giants. Because I just feel like, one, I don't want to see him in my division, so I have to root against him.
Right.
2, I just feel like the Giants would just ruin him. Like that's just. I'm gonna be honest. I don't, and I'm not trying to really talk bad about the Giants. I just don't. It's too much is needed there. Even though he might be able to develop a great relationship with Malik Neighbors, who I think is going to be an absolute stud before this thing is all over with. But I just don't want to see Shador there.
I don't know how much their line is. Like, I feel like I used to see Daniel Jones sacked a lot. I haven't watched since it's been Tommy DeVito or Drew Lock, but I watched on Thanksgiving, and he was also still getting sacked a lot. So I think that's where they need to focus first. Like, keep your quarterback healthy, whoever that quarterback is.
Right.
and then figure out who that quarterback is going to be.
Yeah, so the petitioning is on, man. The petitioning is on. Did you happen to catch what Archie Manning said about Arch Manning?
I did not know.
Yeah, they asked Archie Manning what would be the team that he would love to see his grandson play for. And he said he think that the Dallas Cowboys would be great.
Arch needs to start at Texas first before we start talking about what NFL team he going to. Quinn Ewers, I thought he would have came out last year, and he came back. So
right. Well, let's be honest. In the little bit that we've seen, Arch has looked darn good.
Yes,
I know it's his college.
Don't get me wrong, he has, but I need to see him with a full season of work before we can talk about where he going to be at in the NFL. Like,
yeah, man. This is going to be something to watch. We got all that coming down. The Heisman coming down. I assume we pretty much know that the Heisman is a two-man race.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't even think it's a two-man race.
Yeah. I don't think it should be.
Yeah, fair. It's obviously, yeah, like you're right. In actuality, it is. And no disrespect to what Genty has done. Like the broken ball for sure. But you can't not give it to somebody who is playing at the level that Travis Hunter is on both sides of the ball.
Indeed.
I think they said that he was playing like over 100 something snaps a game. And you being elite doing that, like there's no way.
No way. And effective. Right. JB, what's good? Good morning, my brother. JB is in the house. Yeah, they man, I think it's over. I think it should be over. Then of course you have people that keep moving the needle, keep moving the goalpost. Well, Hunter shouldn't get it because look at the competition. They don't play. He hasn't played the level of competition. He hasn't done this. He hasn't done that. You know, who they face. It's just always moving the goalpost, whether you don't like Hunter or you don't like Prime. You don't like what Dion stands for. They're always moving the goalposts on why he didn't get this.
That part don't make sense to me because you can't turn around and say Colorado has played nobody but big up Genty because again, it sounds all of this. That's why I hate when you got to start pitting players against each other because then you have to start sounding almost like a hater. But it's like, who has Boise State played? Like Colorado is at least playing in one of the Power 4 conferences, whatever you want to call those now. But Boise State is playing against the Mountain West. As somebody who went to a MAC school, I understand that those conferences underneath it ain't the same as those Power 4 conferences. Shout out to NIU though. We still can hang with our hat that we beat Notre Dame this year. Shout out to them.
I knew you were gonna get that in there. Yeah, man. But they'll have things to say. Caesar, what's good? What's up? Who's new guy? He's not a new guy, Caesar. You haven't been around. Matter of fact, Caesar, he was on last year. So he's gotta wake up. Yeah. Hey, Caesar, you gotta stop hassling me about what type of coffee I drink in the morning, man, and get your eyes together. Go back and look at the tapes, bro. Not a new guy. He's been here. It's his matter of fact, like he said, it's season 2. So, it is what it is. Glad to have him. But yeah, man, there's a whole lot going on. We're gonna find out about that Heisman talk here soon enough. But I totally agree with you. I don't think it should be a 2-person race. It should be just go ahead and give it to Travis Hunter, right? Now. And let's just get it over with. Jawan, what's good? Good morning.
God.
What's going on, guys?
Can you leave and come back with a different name?
Nope. You know what?
Hold on. Equals Tom Brady.
Hold on. He's right.
Drake May.
Oh my God, he's about to get more disrespectful. I already know. I shouldn't have said anything.
Drake May equals Tom Brady.
It's been what, 11 games? And he didn't even start all 11 of those?
Mm-hmm. I like Drake though.
I do too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I like Drake.
This too much hype and not too much expectations from Juwan. Now I'm gonna have to hear the next time he has a bad game. Oh my God, the sky is falling, and I don't want.
I've not said anything bad about Drake May all season. I've not said anything. Not one word. Not
I
one
don't
word.
know if that's true. I'm gonna have to look back.
No, I haven't.
I don't remember on this show. I haven't heard him say anything negative about Drake, man. So
I haven't even said it to Didge.
Juwan be hitting me up with the sky is falling messages. What? Oh my God! I knew I shouldn't have said anything.
There we go.
White Vic is in the house.
So people know who I'm talking about specifically.
They might be talking about Josh Allen.
Nah, Drake May.
Okay. You got a good point. You did get canceled in season 1. Cesar Gonzalez makes history all the time. First man ever to burn a jersey live in the SBP. He burned a jersey in the SBP. It was way back when out of Melvin Gordon. And he's the first man to ever get banned, to get banned in the SBP for a period of time. So
why you burning Melvin Gordon jersey?
Yeah, but he's a Chargers fan, so I'm gonna tell you, and he's got a little reason to stick his chest out this year because the Chargers are actually damn good.
They are.
Yeah,
I didn't expect Harbaugh to get them right like that this quickly.
I'm not doing it again. I'm not believing in Justin Herbert again. I'm not doing it.
That's
the beautiful thing. Hey, the beautiful thing about this thing though with them is bigger than just Herbert. So
you're not wrong, but Prime
on the other side of the football.
You remember how hype I was about Justin Herbert.
I remember.
I do too. It was funny.
Not doing it again.
It was great.
Nope, I'm good.
Said that ain't happening.
Nope.
Well, check this out, guys. Glad that I have both of you guys on this week. Shout out to Source, first of all. Source, safe travels. Well, I guess he's already there. Source is up, actually closer to usual. He's in New York right now, actually.
I ain't get a phone call at all.
Well, you know his daughter, Source's daughter, is a senior at Cornell. Shout out to the Ivy League, and she is in her last track season. So
congratulations!
She's a great. She's really good too. So he and the fam up supporting her. So which he does every year. But so shout out to him. Safe travels and good luck, Jada. Absolutely. Out there getting it done out there in that track and field. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely good luck to her with that. But Source, as the rappers say today, you needed to check in before you came to my backyard for sure. But definitely good luck.
I'll make sure I'll make sure he sees this clip. If he doesn't have it pulled up on his phone right now, we'll make sure he sees his clip. But yeah, guys, I'm glad to have you guys on because our first topic today is going to be about someone that you both are all too familiar with. Some big news popped up here early in the week, and that was about one Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is said to have interviewed with not a pro team, but a college team, the North Carolina Tar Heels. And you got to remember, they're right on the heels of Mac Brown getting fired here recently. And I'm going to be honest with you, I did not see this coming whatsoever. I just never saw Bill interviewing for a college job. Now, I have some different thoughts on it now than when I first saw it, but this is just crazy to me. What do you guys think? I'm going to let you guys have the floor.
So, initially, this is a dumb idea. I get it. I was watching, I think it was NFL Live. They was asking Damian Woody about it. And you know, he was talking about how Bill is just he's a football guy. He's a coach. So yeah, he's been doing all like the media stuff this year, but at his heart, he wants to coach. And I don't know how much of the pro teams are looking for a coach. Obviously, at his age, at his sort of how the way that New England sort of went down his last few years.
Right.
So the idea is always, and I feel like you see it a lot in just with coaches, the idea is to go back to college and reinvent yourself. I don't know if the way that Bill Belichick coaches football is going to translate to kids who are 18 to 21, 22. Like there were times we heard it a lot, especially towards the end, that the locker room wasn't gelling with him to sort of fall in line with that Patriot way towards the end. Like obviously when they're winning, everything's higher. Everything's good when you're winning. But when you start having to struggle, when you start having to start anew, getting 18 to 22-year-olds to buy into that mantra is going to be tough. Now, on the positive, you might be able to help with recruiting because there are probably a huge contingent of, again, high school seniors who are like, yo, I get the chance to play under Bill Belichick. But do they want to go to North Carolina to do that? And especially in the age of NIL.
Yeah.
I only slightly disagree. I kind of feel like, because I'm like, I see a lot of behind the scenes of like Coach Prime and how he talks to those guys. I think a lot of it has to do with the best players on that team being like his. So it's like, all right, well, if you treat yours like that, you know, I'm more accepting of you treating the rest of us like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like you give your kids special treatment. But one thing I will say is that I do think a lot of kids, if not them, their parents will love the idea of their kids playing for Bill Belichick. I think every coach has a moment where they learn what they've been doing for forever doesn't work, right? You got to kind of adapt. And we saw that with Harbaugh. Remember, Harbaugh couldn't adapt after the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. So he went back to college, came back, and it looks like he's adapting now. I mean, even the other Harbaugh brother, remember, had a pocket passer for forever. And then everyone was just like, well, how are you going to convert from Flacco to Lamar Jackson so quickly? He immediately had to learn that and adapt. I think a lot of that's probably Greg Roman too, right? Isn't that the offensive coordinator?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Roman does magic over there, but I think if this is something Bill wants to do, I think he understands you can't get a message across kids the same way you get them across grown men. But if these kids are here to win, there is nobody better to win with than Bill Belichick. So, I mean, it all comes down to, why are you here? And Bill will make sure of that very early on.
It's tough, though, because pro success is not indicative of college success, just as college success is not indicative of pro success. Like you said, those are two very, very different, I guess, mindsets, game styles, all of that. Somebody in the comments, I am really curious if that is true, that he is too stuck in his ways to deal with this generation. Like, and I'm not even saying like this generation as because they're vastly different from any other generation of kids. Is he prepared to deal with college students and everything that goes in with that? Where there are a huge different set of rules that you have to play with now. And I don't think it's the right move. I get it. He wants to coach, so it's like you do what you got to do. But I don't know. I feel like go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir. No, sorry.
No, I was just because obviously as I'm thinking through it, like we saw his as a GM. And I feel like college coaches, you got to kind of act more as like a GM because you have to build those rosters through recruiting. Mm-hmm. Some of his recruiting picks weren't the greatest as GM.
But also remember, a lot of his picks were, we have Tom Brady, so it doesn't really matter what I select because Tom Brady makes everything great. And now, we know that was a mistake, but we're not going to sit here and act like Bill has not drafted some of the most generational defensive players, right? It's the same Bill that got us Aaron Hernandez when people said don't. Same Bill that got us Gronkowski when people said don't. Same Bill that drafted a quarterback, turned him wide receiver, turned him cornerback, turned him kick returner, to turn him to a wide receiver again in Julian Edelman. He's the guy that revitalized Wes Welker, even though you could say a lot of that was Josh McDaniels. So I think Bill makes great decisions, just not offensively in the draft. But Bill can go maybe get someone to transfer and turn that kid into the next big thing. So I'm just saying, you're not wrong, But look how, and let me make sure I'm saying this politely. Look how sensitive today's NFL is becoming. We had a starting NFL quarterback tell us that he started to not play well because his feelings were hurt. So I'm like, that's where the NFL is heading. So I'm like, if Bill can't handle that with the college kids, the NFL is heading that way anyway. So if you don't think he can do college, maybe just don't coach anymore at all.
I mean, to be fair, I didn't explicitly say it. I was definitely trying to allude to that. Like,
right.
Your time might be over, bro.
Right. Maybe it is. Maybe it is.
I was definitely alluding to that.
I'll say this, Ditch. I'll say this. If Greg Popovich can change, I think Bill Belichick can change. That's all I'm saying. And again, Popovich hasn't turned it. It's changing into winning. But
I was gonna say,
he has slowly tried to adapt to the pace of today's game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not disagreeing. That's why I said I'm only slightly disagreeing because I think his name still holds weight. And yes, NFL success is not college success, but you kind of look at it like, because think about it. Harbaugh came from the 49ers, went right to Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Like, it means something, So I think he can do it. Maybe.
Harbaugh's case with Michigan is a little different than Bill's case here. Harbaugh is a Michigan guy.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Michigan when I forgot who their coach was before Harbaugh, but when they fired that guy, it was we need to bring in a Michigan guy. Bill, I want to say he went to some random college. I don't even know what college it was.
Yeah, I think it did.
And it's. I think
he went to Wesleyan University.
Yeah, I never even heard of that college. Shout out to y'all, I guess. But no, with Bill, and not even. I want to talk about the other side of it. Like, yeah, we talked about Bill a lot, but also North Carolina has a job. That ACC, like again with recruiting, they have to go up against the Miamis of the world, the Clemsons, the SMUs, the Georgia Techs, all of the Florida State will get back right eventually. I know this year was a dumpster fire for them, but they'll get back right eventually. And you still have to, like, Bill Belichick is only going to be one piece of that puzzle of can we get the best names of our region and nationally to pick our school again against, like I said, the Georgia Techs, Florida States, Miami, Clemson, SMU, like Syracuse, like all of these colleges that are in the ACC that have names that kids want to go to. Is Bill Belichick going to be enough to tip the scales from those schools to go to UNC?
I believe, even if he's not, Didge, I believe Bill sees talent differently. I believe Bill can find a lot of diamond in the roughs. And make it respectable enough for people to maybe want to go there going forward. But the flip side of that is even if we don't think North Carolina is the best job for him, his only hope of coaching again is if
you think it is college.
No, is if Tom Brady pulls some of his weight over in Vegas, or if the Giants fire Brian Daboll. That's really the only two shots he has. Because to me, there's no way you can go to Dallas and Jerry Jones shut up long enough for you to actually do what you want to do over there. And I don't really know of any other franchise that Bill can kind of start from the bottom up. I mean, unless the Jaguars fire what's his name, and rightfully so. Peterson. Yeah, rightfully so. They should. So for me, I don't disagree with maybe he shouldn't do college. I'm just saying I'm not going to act like Bill can't do college, but those can be two separate things. Maybe he shouldn't, but he could.
I feel like he shouldn't, because even like going back to the Harbaugh situation, we talked about that, like him going to Michigan. He at least had college. He at least had like college pedigree before that. Like he put Stanford for years doing great there. So it wasn't like when he went to college in Michigan, he was completely learning something new. He knew how the college game worked. He knew how to talk to these kids, how to get them to pick his school. Bill Belichick has coached NFL his entire career, whether it was assistant to the assistant or whatever. He was NFL. At 70, whatever he is, I think he's like 73, 74. Yeah, at 74, I don't know how much he is going to be able to relate to these kids and sit in their living rooms to tell them to come to North Carolina. That's part of the reason why Saban retired, because he started to realize at 73, 74, or however old Saban is, I don't hold as much weight. And Saban is probably the greatest college coach of all time.
Yeah. Hey, he might have to do the Pat Riley. He might have to bring those New England Super Bowl rings, drop them on the table, and say, don't you want me to prepare you enough that I can send you to the league so you can win some of these? Huh? I don't know.
Caesar says Belichick needs to find a girlfriend that was born in the same century as him. But his girlfriend is not 19. She's 24. I don't know how much better that makes it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's still insane.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm Belichick. I want my 24-year-old girlfriend on a college campus. I'm dealing with these youngins that I'm gonna have to coach. And y'all gonna think I'm crazy. I'm still not totally buying the college angle either. Not saying that he can't do it, but I almost feel like I could see him stepping all the way down to the high school level and coaching high school before I could see him coaching at a university. That's just the feel that I get. If we're talking about being relatable, of course he'll be relatable to parents either way if he's recruiting to a university, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you go to a high school, there's going to be a lot less expectations. You have to deal with all the NIL stuff, the transfer portal. I know kids. We have an issue now in VA, which I know a lot of states are having, with a recruiting issue about illegal recruiting of high school students to football teams, right? But it's not as something that's going to be as widespread that you're going to be able to get away with. I honestly can see Bill Belichick coaching high school before I can see him coaching a college football team.
I could see that, or even just doing. It's not necessary. I forgot what is that position that Andrew Luck just got at Stanford. He's like the GM of their college or something, like GM of like college athletics. It's weird. It's like you're not necessarily the athletic director, but you're like helping steer the football program.
It's something like Woj is doing now over his
Yeah.
I could see him doing that before, like,
or maybe are we missing something that's right in front of our face? Is this just a bidding war? Is this just
for the NFL?
Right. Is this just to tell an NFL team that maybe is like, we don't need to rush and fire our coach? Maybe does this tell a franchise that's going south, you know what? No, we need a splash play. Forget it. Fire our coach, as soon as the season ends, and throw the money at Bill. Let's go bring Bill in, to change our organization around. So
the timing is perfect. The timing is perfect because we're basically maybe a little over a month away from Black Monday.
Yeah. So just think about it. Around this time last year, is it or is it not when we started hearing about the Harbaugh to the Chargers stuff?
Mm-hmm.
And then Harbaugh had to come out and go, no, I'm staying here. And it was just like,
well, yeah, he had to coach them to a national championship.
Right. We're like, you're lying.
Of course he did.
You're totally lying, buddy. So maybe it's that, because to me, I kind of feel like if you're Bill, you know what it's like? It's like when you're working at like a really big company, right? And you kind of like, your position is like, hey, do you want to go over here? And it's like a lateral move. It's not a move up. It's a move, and it's like what bosses do to kind of keep you happy. Here's this, but it's like, it's not really something bigger. It's just something different than what you were doing. You know what I'm saying? Don't you want to go up? And if you're Bill, the only way if you go and win a college championship, people are going to go, oh, okay, great. Okay, cool. If you go take the Giants to the Super Bowl and win it, they might build you a statue. They might build you a statue.
I think you're underestimating how much that college championship would mean still, because I feel I'm
saying to Bill's
from the school standpoint.
No. Just from the standpoint of, if you're Bill, to add that to your legacy, yes, is great. I'm not knocking it, but I'm saying to do more in the NFL on top of what you've already done, I just believe is like the whipped cream. It just keeps adding more whipped cream on top of on top of the ice cream or whatever. I think doing the college thing, I think people might see as like, yeah, that was probably the easier of the two things Bill Belichick could have done.
I don't know, just because I don't know how many coaches have, and as a head coach, have won a Super Bowl and a national championship.
Harbaugh
So
almost did.
if he were able to go and do that, let's say, like, I think takes his North Carolina job, takes them to the moon, they win national championship.
Mm-hmm.
He might put himself again in a class of his own of no coach has ever won again as the head coach. Because I'm sure there are assistants who won a Super Bowl or even in college have won a national championship and then won the other. But I don't know how many head coaches have been like sort of at the helm for both.
I would just be interested to see how the media would handle winning in North Carolina, winning with the Giants. I just wonder how that would be viewed, especially because the Giants is in his blood, right? As much as it disgusts me to say that, that would it would be a better story.
Now, I do believe, now let's say, I'm totally wrong, and we're sitting here speculating, and we hear 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, that he's going to coach in college.
Mm-hmm.
The one advantage I think he would have would be the possibility of bringing some pretty good names with him from the NFL as assistants.
Mm-hmm. He could bring Josh
players, former coaches that may be willing to come back. So when you have that happen, and if any of them are really good speakers as well, you can get in those rooms with those parents when you're on those recruiting trips and things of that nature. Now, that would carry a lot of weight. I do believe that would carry a lot of weight when we're talking about the possibility of landing some decent recruits.
Yeah.
Okay. I do think that would carry a lot of weight. So we've seen Deion do it slowly. Well, not even really slowly. He did it pretty fast. But if you look at some of the names that he's brought with him, the most notable one, of course, this past season was Warren Sapp. And we see, and even though Colorado is still far from a great defense, you see the difference from where they were last year, to now. And he's had the Zimmers around, and he's had the Fitzgeralds around. So I do think that would be a definite advantage when you look at that whole tree that's been with him. And so there may be some coaches that are ready to leave the NFL team that they're with, maybe some coaches who weren't coaching in the league at all this particular year. So I do think that would carry a lot of weight, though, on the college level with Bill.
Yeah, that is fair.
It would definitely give you a leg up, that's for sure.
Let me ask y'all this, though. I know, Juwan, you did mention the idea of maybe a Jacksonville. I know you just briefly threw the Giants out there, even though it looks like they're content with holding on to Dable. That's what they're saying, that he'll be back. But what's the best NFL team you think that he could go in right away? What would fit him best for next season?
Right away, Jaguars. Because
like that Jag situation.
You have a generational talent in Trevor Lawrence. Because remember, if you go to the Giants, you got to go draft your quarterback,
right?
And then you have to hope that you can turn that quarterback into what you want him to be. Why risk that? Even though Bill loves the challenge, right? But why risk it when you can just go with Trevor Lawrence? He's already ready. You know what I'm saying? You just need to put a better defense around him, better offensive pieces, or maybe just utilize Ridley better or more. I just think that organization is just ready. But like when you think of the Raiders, the Giants, they're all teams that need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, do you want to go through building a guy, excuse me, from the ground up? And then if it doesn't work out, you're talking about another season of tanking and, trying to rebuild another guy. Like, I don't know. I just think the Jaguars are probably the best team if I'm thinking team that's not really good right now that Bill could just step into and be able to have full control to do whatever he wants over there. Because obviously Dallas would be the most obvious one. But it's just too much outside interference. I don't think Bill would.
I don't like him in Dallas. Now, I do think that if there is a situation where Jerry offers him and he entertains the idea, of course, being the friends that they are, he's definitely Bill Parcells on this.
Mm-hmm.
He's consulting Bill Parcells on this. Bill's worked there.
Right.
Bill's had the job. He's been inside those rooms with Jerry and Steven. He's coached that team. He's been in that team. So I think if Bill was to ever give this serious consideration, he would definitely consult Bill Parcells first. But I don't like him in Dallas.
That's interesting. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ditch. Sorry.
No. I want you guys to finish this one because I'm going out on a complete limb. So I want this to finish before we start getting irrational. So.
Yeah, I'll finish by saying I just don't think him and Jerry work.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. Because I thought you were just saying you don't like the idea of him in Dallas, and I'm like, bro, the only thing that's been stopping y'all these last 10 years of getting over the hump is better coaching. I watched you guys.
Oh, I agree.
Not be able to spike the ball. You know what I'm saying?
That's
a coaching thing. I always find that to be a coaching thing. You know, not
be able to work the clock right. Time management.
Exactly. Right.
From
I
the
believe
last
that's
coach to the current coach.
Exactly. So I think all you're missing is a defensive guru like that guy. Can you picture Bill Belichick being able to whisper in Micah Parsons' ear? Like the idea of having a generational guy like that for Bill. I think that's the perfect place for him to go. But again, like you said,
Jerry is the only problem. Other than that, I'm with you. What you got, Dig?
I am glad you brought up coaching and how a team can't get over the hump because of their coach. Because this is a complete limb. But what if San Fran obviously is looking kind of rough this year? Like they're probably not making the playoffs. They haven't been able to get over the hump the past 5 years. Some could say it's because they get injured at the wrong time. Others might say it's because their coach is not getting the best out of their players in the most opportune moments. Hear me out. If they don't make the playoffs and John Lynch goes, Shanahan, you just can't get us there. Our window might be closing. We need to get the best out of it in this moment. And Belichick goes to San Francisco. We've seen him take a relatively unknown quarterback and bring him to heights, really high heights. Take a defense that is phenomenal. They haven't looked as phenomenal this year, but a defense that is phenomenal and use that as the cornerstone to bring their team to the championship. I don't know if San Francisco is in the market of firing Kyle Shanahan. But we've seen teams where we've had a lot of success, but we haven't been able to sort of go to that last level and think that, well, we know it's not the team, it's the coach, and you make a coaching change to bring them to that final piece. I think that could work.
I do not disagree with you at all, and I love it. My only pushback is that if you're the 49ers, it's really hard to fire a guy that keeps putting you in the Super Bowl mix every year. Like almost every other year, he's in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Now, again,
he's in the playoffs.
I'm saying like the last 4 years, I think he's been in the Super Bowl twice, right? Not 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years. Yeah, 2019, they went 2019, missed the playoffs 2020.
And remember,
championship game.
First year against the Chiefs, remember, they were a Jimmy Garoppolo not knowing how to throw a ball long distance away from winning.
Yeah, I mean,
Super Bowl.
Honest, in the same sense, last year's same situation. It wasn't a we get blown out in these games.
Right.
But I think that almost leads to where I'm at with it because teams are very reactionary. Mm-hmm. And I could fully see John Lynch or even ahead of him, someone being like, something has to change here, especially given the step back that they took this year. They're 5-7 right now. Mm-hmm. And granted, their division isn't the greatest division, so they could very much still make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But if they play like how they've been playing the past couple of weeks, they probably won't. At some point, they're going to see that window is shrinking, and they're going to be like, we have to make a head coaching change. Kyle Shanahan, we love everything you've done for us, but you might just not be the guy to get us to the promised land.
I love this, but I'll raise you one, Ditch. If you think the 49ers are in a prime position, right, to make that head coach change, I'll raise you one. Why not Cincinnati?
I almost went Cincinnati.
Because you already got your star receiver,
You do.
your star quarterback, your star defensive end, right? Bill Belichick can shore up that defense because that's where a lot of their struggles come from.
And
Shore up
O-line.
that defense. Yep. Well, no, because he didn't do
Yeah,
that for us.
that defense is terrible. The defense is bad.
He did not shore up the offensive line for us.
Well, no,
I
he
don't know
didn't.
I don't know how much stock I put in that.
They need a lot of help in that whole line.
100%. But that defense for sure could be the best defense in that division. Bill could do that.
Well, right now they're the worst.
No. I'm saying what Bill could do.
Bill
could take it, from night to day. So I'm with you on 49ers if they're brave enough to do it. Because that's one guy that once he's gone, that's it. You'll never find a guy like that just walking around the halls, in your coaching vacancy. So if you're firing him to fill him with Bill, yes, 100%. You definitely give that a lot of thought, maybe even pull the trigger. But Cincinnati, I'm sorry, you have to fire your coach. You cannot leave this season doing anything else but firing that head coach. I'm sorry. I know injuries and stuff have happened with that team, but he has shown an inconsistency with this organization since going to the Super Bowl. And remember, even going to the Super Bowl was essentially, you know what it was? You remember that ending of Endgame where Cap straps up his shield and it's just Cap looking at Thanos and all his army? That year that the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, that was Joe Burrow. Every snap, it was Thanos and his army rushing that offensive line.
I like
what I'm saying?
I like
there was no on your left. There was no portal opening to help that man out. All right? So Joe Burrow has grown in spite of how bad this team has surrounded him, especially offensive line, right? And that defense also, because they got cooked against the Rams in that Super Bowl.
Horrible.
Cooked. Yeah. So for me, I'm sorry. I know we talked about Doug Peterson and all those guys. There is no head coach that needs to be fired more than the Cincinnati Bengals head coach. They just need a fresh start.
I like both those scenarios you guys brought up. I give you another team to think about when I look at a team that's we've known to have a pretty good defense, especially at home, over the better part of the last maybe 7 or 8 years. A team that's got some quality veterans, one of them who just got a contract extension, I believe, and some good young offensive pieces. And I would say the New Orleans Saints as well. I think Bill Belichick, bringing in a solid coach like Bill Belichick to restore their defense is not horrible by any means, not like Cincinnati, as you brought up. But they've lost a step or two over the last couple of years defensively. This year, the injuries hadn't done them any favors either. You lose both your starting wide receivers, couple of pieces on that offensive line. You just lost, of course, a Taysom Hill to add to that mix. So they've had some injuries, but they need some stability there. And I think the New Orleans Saints would be a great place, a great ownership group that's definitely going to leave them alone, let them cook a little bit.
They also don't have a coach.
I think the Saints would have to be in the top 3 positions out there that Bill Belichick could go in there and possibly succeed.
It could work. They fired their coach. I forgot about them.
Yeah, they fired Dennis Allen.
Another team, because if you're talking about the respect that a team gives a head coach that's had, reached a couple of Super Bowls, let's talk about a franchise that's given too much leeway to their head coach. Why not let Bill go back to where it started? Do the Browns. That's not a bad team. It's not. You just need someone that could fix Deshaun Watson, right? Because it's not like Deshaun Watson is bad. It's just like
if he's going to be there, because
if he's going to be there. But I'll say this: remember, you're talking about a massive salary, dump that you'd have to be able to get past. I think Deshaun Watson still has great football years ahead of him. I just think the coach he has is not the coach he needs. And I'm not saying that means that the coach isn't good. I just think maybe it's because think about it. They have weapons, right? they have pieces that can make a really good defense. It's just they don't have a leader at the helm that can bring that all together. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hell, Bill could squeeze a couple wins out of Jameis Winston while Watson gets healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I think the Browns could be a really good spot. You know, I really do, because they need something.
I'm with it. I'm with him going back to the cold, staying in the cold weather. I got to see the hoodie, right?
Got to.
I got Bill got to have a reason to have that hood on.
Iconic.
So
Gotta
I
have
can see it.
They would have to pay if they cut Deshaun Watson. They would have a dead cap hit of $118 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just
see if you can. I didn't know it was that much.
Yeah,
well,
see if you can fix them.
The only reason I brought it up was because there was comments made maybe about a month ago where they wouldn't comment on what they committing to him. Let's just say.
Oh yeah, I saw that too. I was with you. I thought he.
I was trying to. What you gonna do? How you gonna pull that off? But
yeah. No, I was with you. I didn't realize it was that big of a cap, and I was thinking it was gonna be like 60-70 million, which is still an insane amount.
Mm-hmm.
But
you could eat
9. You shouldn't eat that. That's ridiculous. They shouldn't. Yeah, they shouldn't have fully guaranteed the contract.
That's also true.
But no, 9 figures is insane.
Mm-hmm. But that team could be ready to go. Really ready to go. If you can get someone in there that can fix that defense a little bit and can get Deshaun Watson playing Deshaun Watson football again. Because I don't know what made him lose it, but Deshaun Watson should be proof to all you NFL players that keep saying, I'll sit out a year. Okay, sit out a year and turn into that guy. Good.
Yeah, I was going to say, you wanted to know what he took. He missed 2 years, essentially, because he got suspended for a full year. He sat a year. He got suspended for like 11, 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he got suspended for 4. It was more than that?
Yeah, I thought it was way more than that. Let me look.
Oh, interesting. Okay. But yeah, look, Le'Veon Bell, same thing. Remember? He sat out, never came back the same. So
yeah, he gambled on his stuff and lost though.
Lost big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Had to go do celebrity boxing. So
maybe that Cleveland thing is good though. Yeah, that Cleveland thing is celebrity boxing. that Cleveland thing would be interesting if you feel like Bill can go in there and do some things with his organization pretty quick. Mm-hmm. Because if this year is any indication on what the AFC North could be for the next couple of seasons, I mean, you've got the Steelers sitting on top of that division right now at 9-3. Miraculously, they found some sort of offense. Right. Some sort of offense when they're actually scoring with the ball in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, and then you have the Ravens are not going anywhere, and the Ravens are sitting there at 8-5. But we usually expect the Ravens to be around this point, 5, maybe 6 losses, but they're not going anywhere. So,
right.
So if you want to possibly stay competitive in this division for the next few years, maybe you need somebody who's been there and can maybe help you get you back to respectability. And of course, getting that defense back to its fullest potential is going to be it. I mean, you've got Myles Garrett. You just get you've got
Denzel Ward,
Maya Okoye in the middle. Yeah, you've got some pieces there. I think Bill can make it happen. I like that.
Yep. So I think Bill could do it. I think Bill could definitely go there. And I think what would help Deshaun Watson is having somebody that's not afraid to tell him, I'll bench you. I'll bench you and start Winston. Straight up. I don't care that they're paying you. I'll bench you.
They won't think a second about it.
Nope. So maybe that fire under his butt would get him back to where he needs to be. So
it really was the just the year off, by the way. Like I looked it up. So he had the year off, and then he got suspended 11 games the year afterwards.
Oh, okay, it was 11.
But you can see that, granted, he also has played single digit games every year since.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, completion percentage dropped 10%. Everything, the interception, the touchdown ratio went up. Everything after that year off. I don't know what he did during that year he didn't play.
Struggle to even have 200-yard passing games.
Yeah. The yards per game average has cratered. He's not running as well.
And now Jameis comes in. Look, now Jameis threw some pick sixes, but he's also throwing like for 400 yards. Like when you're struggling to throw for 2, like
Jameis prayed those away. We'll see next game. He prayed them away.
Yeah,
golden opportunity today. We're gonna see about that. Playing the Steelers. But yeah. Also, guys, what I want to get your thoughts on. Source and I talked about this before. Last week we talked about the MVP situation, and was it still definitely Lamar, and how close, how close is Josh Allen? Do you think it's Josh Allen? But we didn't talk about offensive rookies. And correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking about rookie of the year in the NFL on the offensive side of football. Is there more than 3 candidates?
Yeah, 100%.
Is there more than 3?
100%.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's more than 2.
I don't know. Mine is a homer pick, Didge.
All right. Yeah, we should have known.
So, what are your 2?
It's Bo Nix versus Jaden Daniels. Like that's it. And I thought Jaden Daniels had it running away. Bo Nix has, at the very least, tightened that race. Might have overtaken it.
There's no might to it. I've watched Bo Nix do this in the last couple of weeks. I've watched Jaden go this way. So I'm like, I'd much rather give it to Bo Nix. I just watched that game last week, that whole game, and I don't know if I put that game on Bo Nix. I don't know if I put that.
Did you weren't on, but I think Juwan, you were on a couple of weeks, and I was shouting Bo Nix.
Yeah, yep.
I was shouting Bo Nix. And I've been shouting Bo Nix probably for about the past month and a half. Was watching this kid play. He reminds me of so many people. Even he kind of even reminds me of a guy that's probably the most legendary quarterback to ever play for that franchise. He's as good as scanning the field. He can throw the football on the move. He's gutsy as all outdoors. Anybody who's got the balls to stand up to Sean Payton. Okay. You remember what Sean Payton did to Russ last year. Russ is Russ. Russ is a humble guy. He's not gonna say anything. Your boy Sean Payton tried that with Bo Nix. Bo Nix went right back at him. A rookie, right?
Well, Nix said,
and it looks like Sean Payton still trusts him. Bo Nix is playing out of this world football, man. Even when the chips are down. I've watched him run around for whole games and running for his life, and he's still playing just as hard. But if you look at these numbers, man, so what's crazy, so we were talking about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, right now, 15 passing TDs, only 6 interceptions. He's had 4 games this season where he's had a QBR over 100. Mm-hmm. Right? And he's sitting at a passer rating, I think he's highest of all of them. He's like about 99, right?
Yeah.
All right. You go to Bo Nix, 17 TDs passing, 4 rushing, and I'm sorry, 3. Hold on. He said 17. He has 17 total TDs.
He got 4 rushing.
He got 4 rushing, right? 4 rushing touchdowns. He's only on his throne. You got it up, don't you? Like 3 interceptions?
Yeah, 8.
8 interceptions?
Yeah.
He might have 8 interceptions. Okay.
He might have threw. I think he threw a couple more last game.
He did. But anyway, 17 TDs is impressive, right? I mean, it's super impressive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I believe he has the same amount of over 100 QBR games as Jaden Daniels. The passer rating over 100. I think he has 4. If I remember correctly. I know he had 3 going into a couple of weeks ago, so he should be at 4.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, their numbers are almost exactly the same, which is to what Jawan was saying, kind of threw me for a loop because, like you said, Bo Nix has 2 more passing touchdowns. Jaden Daniels has 2 more rushing touchdowns. Their records are equal. Their completion percentages are within 3 or 4% of each other. Jaden Daniels has the lead there with that, but it's like it's those 2 and then everybody else. Like,
I'll give you that.
Y'all think
I'll give you that.
So let me ask you a question. Do you think that Caleb Williams is that far from these guys?
100%. 100%. Here's why. If you told me that in 3 to 5 years, the Commanders or the Broncos won a Super Bowl, wouldn't shock me. You told me in 3 to 5 years the Bears did, a lot of that would shock me. A lot. They're so inconsistent. That's the problem. And it's more than just like a rookie wall kind of thing. It's a lot of you can speak to this with me. That New England Bears game is a game Caleb Williams should have came in and it easily dropped 500 yards. Easily 500 yards. He struggled so badly. And it's like, bro, you can't struggle that bad against a team that is that bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to have a respectable game. Didn't even have that. So I'm like, for me, I'm not saying that Caleb can't kick it into gear because I'm a lot more lenient on rookies than a lot of people because I remember Josh Allen's first 2 years where everyone said, get this kid out of the league. He's horrible. Turnover machine. He looked horrible. Look where he's at now, right? So I'm like, Caleb Williams can easily transcend in the next couple of years. Well, I'm just saying I can see his struggles lasting a little bit longer than these two guys.
Well, I'm going to defend him a little bit. And I granted, I can't even defend him in that New England game.
That game was crazy.
If you watch Caleb, and granted, he might be coming a little bit late to the party, but if you watch Caleb Williams, maybe even the last 3 weeks, it's been ridiculous. He's been pretty darn good. And we talk about turnovers, we talk about these other guys. He's only thrown 5 interceptions.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
What about the fumbles? What about the fumbles?
Well, he's had a couple of fumbles.
Okay.
5 interceptions for a rookie playing in that division, especially with those defenses, and you're facing the likes of Minnesota. Green Bay has been really good, especially on that back end.
Yeah.
Look, Jidge and I were chatting this a bit before you came on, before we even went live on the show, and we were talking about Chicago. And I know a lot of people are going to hold the fact that Chicago was plummeted as a team. But in the 3 games that meant the most, now granted, I know he did not win these games. Listen to these numbers, right? Not bad at all. So you had Green Bay, 231 yards, right? Now, granted, he didn't have any passing touchdowns in that particular game, right? But they lost the game. Matter of fact, let me show you. Let's do this.
Well, yeah, while you're pulling that up, I was gonna chime in to the point of you were talking about how Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix both had 4 games where they were over 100 in passer rating. So it's Caleb Williams. Like, I'm not going to act like he is everywhere. Like, I do think he's in the everyone else category.
Yeah,
but it's not because of his play. It's because of what his team has done. And his act, I mean, yeah, a lot of it is probably coaching. But I think what takes him out of the offensive rookie of the year category with it is that everything that he's done hasn't translated into as many wins as it has for Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels. I think that's strictly the reason. I think you can probably say the same for Drake May. I know Juwan saying when you said you had 3, I'm assuming that was your homer pick. That was your 3rd. And Drake May has looked great, but it hasn't translated to wins.
It hasn't, but that's why I said if you wanted to put Drake May with Caleb Williams and those everyone else, I'll give that to you. Because Drake May, just so you guys know, Drake May in less starts is not that far off. 1,600 yards, 11 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, a 58.2.
One rushing touchdown, yeah.
And a rushing touchdown. And I think he has like 300-400 yards rushing. So I'm like, Drake May is showing you that if, like I told Didge, if you had started him at the beginning of this season, Drake May could have easily put himself at least in the same conversation you could make for Caleb Williams. I'm not saying Bo Nix and Jaden, but whatever conversation you make for Caleb, Drake May could easily be in there. Why? Because I don't think either team is good, right? But I wouldn't put it on the shoulders of the QBs. So I'm just saying, Drake May has shown, because a lot of people are saying on their leaderboards of like rookie of the week, rookie of the month, stuff like that, Drake May's name is always right in the middle of it. Right in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these games are being lost not because of Drake May. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying I get it. It's very much a homer pick, but I'm just saying I'm putting Drake May's name on the fourth slide here we got on this screen. Fourth face.
I'm putting me personally. I'm not. Oh, fourth slot, yes. Yeah, fourth slot.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I'm still personally not putting Drake in front of Caleb. That's what I'm saying.
That's fine. I'm just saying going forward, his name will be mentioned. There will be 4 quarterbacks of this regime that we're heading into, and I think it'll be those 3 guys and then Drake May. With Drake May, if you surround him with better talent, like I believe they will, fingers crossed, Drake May will easily put himself in the conversation with these 3 guys as looking at who's the best out of these 4. Now, whether it translates to team wins with any one of these 4, we'll see going forward. But Drake May will put himself in that conversation very easily. He has all the intangibles. It's just you keep looking up and he has no one to throw it to, right? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So if they can fix that and scheme better, I really hate their offensive coordinator, Ditch. I hate him so much. But again, you could say the same about Caleb. A lot of his problems might come from head coaching, right?
Oh,
he has the talent.
Well, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you something because Shorts and I talked about this briefly last week. So, like I say, if you go back to the last 3 games, what do they all have in common? They were all division games against 3 of the best teams in the National Football League. So on Thanksgiving, we talked about the whole deal on Thanksgiving. They lost their game, but they lost by a point.
Yeah.
20-19. Granted.
23-20. You got it. Well, obviously, that's how they do the schedule.
I'm sorry. Okay. All right, let's go back. Yeah. So it's about. So they lost. It was 23-20. They lost their game on Thanksgiving, right?
Mm-hmm.
They could have won it. Should have won it. I think they should have been in prime position.
You do need to put that on him, though, Prime. You do need to put that on him. One timeout.
I put him on the coach
to use it.
No,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But we're not going to sit here and act like a player should not know how many timeouts they have and that you could use one right there.
Well, the coach can call a timeout from the sideline.
I completely agree.
And he makes the excuse when it's over. I think we handled it the right way. That was the way he wanted to do it. That's on the coach.
Yeah, the coach, because you can also.
He said that.
You could also.
He said that at the end of the game.
He's looking off to the side, like, what is? Because like I think he had to. And I think Caleb might have even said it. He was like, I don't know. We didn't know what our play call was going to be. So you see them all looking off to the side, trying to figure out, yo, Eberflus, what is our play call about to be?
Let me ask you this, Ditch. Do you not agree that it's a learning moment?
I said
you can't depend on your coaches. You in that moment are the leader. Call the timeout. Was the coach gonna bench you? No, you're not gonna get any trouble for that. It's not college. Call the timeout.
I get you. That's what I think it's on both. I think it's on both. Eberflus definitely should have called that timeout. Should have had the team ready to know what that play was going to be.
Yes.
But at the same time, I can understand you saying, Caleb, you need to know that you need to call a timeout here. I get
100%.
That. I get
especially if you're confused. If you're confused, you don't just try to go with it. There's confusion. Call timeout, dog. Like, what are we doing? So, but I'll give you that 50-50. Sorry, Prime.
No, you're good. Then we go back. So you go back. You look at the other 2 games. They played the Minnesota Vikings. Arguably the second best, no less than the third best team in the NFC right now. Right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look at that game. 3 points. I know close only counts in horseshoes. I get it. Mm-hmm. I get it. But what did he do in that game against Minnesota? One of the best defenses in the league right now. 340 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in that particular game. I'm saying it for the people who are just out here blatantly calling him a bust. Okay?
Not a bust.
All right. We go back to the other game they played against the Green Bay Packers. One of the best teams in the NFC right now. Pretty good, darn good defense.
I'd say they're the
1 point. What did he do? He had 3 touchdowns in that game. Threw for 256.
That one.
So granted, I'm not saying that Caleb Williams should be the rookie of the year. I'm just telling you, he's not that far out of the conversation. I know there's things that are going to disqualify him. They should. I mean, his team's sitting where they're sitting. There's things of that nature. They've lost, 6 in a row? Mm-hmm. I get all of that. but he's just not that far. And let's not forget the Washington situation. A couple of games before we even got to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fluke Hail Mary. Caleb Williams has played overall, a lot better than people are giving him credit for. And I do think that he's worth a mention. He might be in that other category, right? But it's not all his fault that they're losing these football games. Either.
I'll give you this, Prime, because I didn't mention it and I should have. I'll give you this credit when it comes to Caleb Williams. One thing we do have to remember when it comes to Bo Nix is beautifully as he's playing, and he is playing very well. He has the one thing the Bears in Washington cannot say they have.
Are you talking about the defense?
No. I think just saying defense. No. It's not, but I think just saying defense for Denver is an understatement. He has a really, 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 really good defense. A defense that can almost go and get a turnover any play. Any play that's hiked, they can go get a turnover and put you in the best field position possible. So I think a lot for Bo Nix is the idea that a lot of these games aren't getting out of control. So they're manageable for Bo Nix to go win them. But again, I think it's Bo Nix, Williams. Bo Nix, Daniels, then Williams.
We got Bo over Jaden right now.
Yes. Because that last game I watched, it was so much fun to watch that game. And I don't often say that with New England playing as horrible as they are. I don't usually take joy in watching other teams' success. I really enjoyed watching Bo Nix in that game.
It's funny you bring up the turnovers thing for defense. Chicago has a higher overall defense. Denver is definitely higher than Chicago, but in turnovers, Chicago's higher. So,
how much higher?
I mean, Denver's 9, Chicago's 6, so it's not like it's crazy.
What you're going to get with Chicago? Chicago's going to turn you over. That's what they do. What you're going to get with Denver, especially in that secondary, is you're scared to test them. Certain places you're not going to throw the football against them.
It's to Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, so there's part of your reasoning when we're talking about defense, but Chicago definitely has a better defense than people give them credit for. They will turn you over
for sure.
Yeah.
I will say I'm very disappointed that we can't talk about Marvin in this conversation. Whether it be injuries or the fact that his quarterback for the first 3 weeks forgot that he had him. It's just very frustrating to know that he's sitting at like 464 yards right now. Very frustrating.
Yeah, if you're going to throw Marvin in there, and I totally agree, then the other offensive guy that I would just throw in there that deserves a mention. Now, you're going to look at his numbers right off the bat and like, are we really having this conversation? But you have to watch him play and understand. We talk about Marvin with the injuries. We're talking about another guy here who's been a little nicked up, but the quarterback situations he's had to deal with too. And I'm talking about Brock Bowers. Yeah. Brock Bowers of the Raiders, I'm telling you, is a star in the making. And Source looked at me kind of funny when I told him last year when we were talking about after the draft, I was more impressed. I said he might be, as crazy as it sounds, the best overall player in last year's draft. And that's how I felt about him coming out of college. Brock Bowers is the real deal. I want to see him with the real quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna say Brock Bowers, I'm gonna have to throw in Malik Neighbors.
That's 100% who I was gonna throw in because when you bring up Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors is having, in my opinion, a better year because their numbers are very close. I think Malik Neighbors has a slightly more yards and less games.
No. Not slightly. I think I saw Marvin at like 400.
No, Marvin
is at 740.
I just pulled it up. Marvin's at 606.
Oh, he's at 606. Okay. Well,
yeah, I think
Neighbors is at 740.
Yeah, 745. So that's what I said. It's like slightly better, but it's in less games. Granted, yes, you were right. The first 4 or 5 games, it was like Kyler forgot that he had him. So I understand you can take that away from him. But my point with why I say Malik Neighbors is having the better year is because who is his quarterback again?
Technically right now, a bunch of nobodies.
This man had Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, and Drew Lock throwing the ball to him, and he's putting up those type of numbers. Say what you will if you don't think Kyler Murray's a leader or whatever. he's hell of a lot better than those three.
DeVito and Locke.
Yeah, not wrong. Not wrong at all. And when you talk about just watching, Malik Neighbors is ready to dominate. You know what it is? The Giants are so bad, they have a highlight reel of Neighbors open 85% of the games with no quarterback to get it to him. Right? Now again, let me be fair here. A lot of that is the quarterback being sacked or, the offensive line not doing their job. But Malik Neighbors out here easily dusting a lot of these cornerbacks, but can't get the ball. So, yeah, he definitely needs to be mentioned for sure.
All right, real quick, guys, before you ask me what say this.
Oh, no, I just saw the college football playoff. They just did the college football playoff. They unveiled the rankings. I didn't think Bama was going to be out.
Bama's out?
Bama's out. SMU is in.
Oh, SMU did get in.
I'm so shocked. I was sure.
Oh, here it is. I see it.
Sure that SMU loss was going to
the Twitter platform, as I still call it, and social media is going to be it's going to be really fun to keep an eye on today.
That is crazy.
Wow.
I was sure. I was like, there's no way that they're going to keep Bama out. But they did.
Wow.
I'm just saying it now.
18 touches schedule. It's going to be fun.
It is.
Hey, real quick, guys. What do you guys think before we get into these picks? We're about 20 minutes from kickoff. What do you think in the NFC is the biggest threat to the Detroit Lions?
Oh, this is easy. It's easy. Packers. I'm sold. I'm very much sold. I love the Packers. I really, 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 truly do. They just gotta get a little bit more consistent, but I really do love the Packers. I really do think they can be a threat this year. Like one of those dark horse threats, right? Like the threat you kind of see coming, but you overlook a little bit. I think that's 100% going to be the Packers. But it's hard not to say like the Vikings, right? Like when you have a guy that you can just throw it up in the air with Justin Jefferson, but I don't know if I'm going complete package. I'm resting my hat on the Packers right now.
I will disagree. I love the Packers. I think what they've done this year is amazing. It's been so much fun to watch, especially just sitting down with my dad to watch the games. Mm-hmm. But they can't beat the two best teams in their division, and they've had 3 shots at it right now. Their lone division win is against. It is. It's always so close. Well, no, dark horse. But it's every time, 3 times now at Detroit. Home against Detroit, and then I think they were home against the Vikings that first game. What they can't do is to get over the hump against them too. And I don't know if they're going to get to that third try. Like they're obviously going to make the playoffs like that. But it seems like when they're going, because even their 4th loss is against the Eagles. So it seems like against the elite teams in the NFC, they just can't get over the hump. Something always happens in sort of the waning moments where they just drop the ball. So I don't think it's them. I think it's Philadelphia. That Eagles team looks insane. Yeah. Saquon Barkley might be MVP this year.
Oh, well, no, hold on. Let's separate the two. All right? Because as somebody that has had what's his name? Jalen Hurts is my quarterback all fantasy season. I can tell you that team is Saquon Barkley. So,
but that's my point. They have looked so good. They're on what, like a 9-game winning streak?
Yes, they are. But let me ask you this, Ditch. Let me ask you this, because you are probably one of the few people that I know, you Prime and Source, that actually know like schematics and stuff of like football. If I'm Detroit, I'm just stacking the box. I trust my corners. I'm stacking the box. You're not running it on me all game. Make Jalen Hurts beat me. And I don't think if Detroit got in a shootout with the Eagles can withstand a shootout.
You don't think Baltimore tried that?
What do you mean? Oh, stacking the box? Stacking the box? No, time out. Hold on, Didge, because you were here earlier this season where we all got together and said, this is not the same Baltimore defense. This is not the same Baltimore.
Definitely not that secondary. Definitely,
it's not the
secondary.
Same.
Is not the secondary.
It's not the same at all. So I'm not saying that like Baltimore's trash or anything, but using them as an example, last year would have been like, yeah, come on, if they couldn't do it. But this year, it's like, well, yeah, they're not as good defensively as they were.
We'll see. Year. I think it's next Sunday they play Pittsburgh. Philadelphia does.
Oh, okay.
So I think that'll probably. I don't think the rest of their schedule outside of that is that tough. I mean, they still have like some division games, and divisional games can always go one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like in terms of big test outside of people who are really familiar with them, I think Pittsburgh might be their next biggest test. And I'll give final whether or not I think they're third. But I think as of right now, you'd be really mistaken to not say that Philadelphia team, as it's designed, currently is not a threat to the Lions.
Right. And by Philadelphia, you mean Philadelphia Barclays. Not I agree. Yeah. Philadelphia Barclays.
Saquon is as somebody who has Saquon in fantasy, and I don't think it's in our league. In one of my leagues, I know for sure I have him. Man, he be getting me points.
Yeah. And as someone that has Jalen Hurts, he don't be getting points for my team ever, Didge. Ever. Okay? So I can safely tell you. Huh?
Who be getting the red zone? Who be getting a red zone? Because it's not like Saquon is leading the league in rushing touchdowns.
That is the only way I get points from Jalen Hurts is when they go goal line.
Okay.
And then Jalen Hurts turns around, looks at Saquon, and goes, "Nah, I got it." Like,
okay.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I got this. You're good.
I was gonna say, I assumed he was getting you many push touchdowns.
No. I've lost him many a weeks because he's not getting me enough points. Because you know what it is? So the world knows, Didge has us in a league that severely punishes fumbles and interceptions. Guess what Jalen Hurts? Didge is someone who has had almost half of my touchdown stripped because he's had a strip sack and an interception, which Jalen Hurts loves those. Okay, loves those.
Severely is crazy. I think you lose like a point for a fumble and
it's not just a point. I swear to God, it seems like a whole grade drop. A whole grade drop when it comes to Jalen Hurts. It's devastating. Devastating to me. Okay? Man almost had 10 points for me one of these last 5 weeks. I'm like, what are we doing? And then I look over, what Saquon Barkley got? 156? I'm like, what is happening here? It's crazy. But no, all jokes aside, I obviously you have to take the Eagles seriously. I'm
gonna be honest. I don't trust the Vikings.
Could be a dark horse. I don't.
It was you who brought up the Vikings. I think I don't trust them. I'm gonna be honest.
When it comes to the Vikings,
I don't. I was thinking I don't. I thought it was you who had brought them up.
No, I brought them up.
Well, I'll say this: didn't they play? It was like a 2-point game when they played this year. I think it was like 31-29.
Yeah, it was.
Minnesota is a funny team to trust. But the fact that they're sitting where they're sitting now is crazy if you think about, and I know I say this each week, were they 10-2 right now? And they're sitting there when the guy that, I bigged up a couple of years ago, then Juwan was like, yeah, you're right, Prime. Like this guy, Justin Jefferson, is that good, right? Yeah. He is that good. But we're talking about they're 10-2. And do you guys realize the last time he scored a touchdown?
Yeah, they're getting everybody else involved. Yeah.
It was about 2 weeks before Halloween.
Now, he's getting yards. Don't get me wrong. He has over 1,000 yards.
The Addisons and the Nailers, these guys are getting it. So these guys are actually getting it done by not just, they're not just riding. Teams of, and Detroit did it in that game they played. They're going to put a couple of guys on JJ. Right, so he's not going to be the one to beat us, and hopefully we can figure everything else out. And then, of course, teams still haven't figured everything else because these teams are still winning. Yeah, but the offense is not quite as explosive week to week, but they're doing enough to get it done.
I just don't trust Sam Darnold. That's it. Everything else is fair. I don't know when push comes to shove. Sam Darnold, I don't know if he has it to in those clutch moments.
By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish up because
I was just gonna say, by the way, Jalen Hurts this season, 7 fumbles, 4 of them lost, and let me see, 5 interceptions.
Whew.
So a given week, he's guaranteed a sack, a fumble, or an interception. Devastating to me. Okay? And only 14 touchdowns. And like Didge said, a lot of them have been the tush pushes.
Gotcha. All right, let's get into these picks, guys. We got 6 games we're going to run through. We got about 13 minutes, so we're going to knock them on out.
All right, it's quick.
And the first one, it's funny, you were just talking about one Sam Darnold. The Falcons and the Vikings. Kirk Cousins is traveling to take on his former team, his last team that he played for. It's been about, I think, 6 seasons there. And he's going to take on Sam Darnold. So this is a very interesting game. I saw on a couple of different sites that Minnesota better be careful with this particular game. Dids, what you think?
Ooh, so I'm curious if was it last game? Yeah, last game Bijan went off.
Yeah.
If he can do that again, Atlanta definitely can pull off I guess technically the upset, but
definitely be upset.
I got Minnesota in this one. Oh God, score wise, let's go 17-14. I think Minnesota's defense can handle that, and Kirk Cousins hasn't looked much the same this year.
Yeah, Kirk has been terrible the past. And, I'm always big up in Kirk, but these past 3 weeks have been ridiculous.
It's been rough.
Hasn't thrown a touchdown and 6 interceptions, and you got to go play this defense. That's one of the most complex blitz schemes in the league, and we know how Kirk is under pressure. I hate to talk bad about my guy, but this one got me a little scared for Kirk in this one. Juwan, what you think?
I got Kirk Cousins for 4. You like that? So I'm going Atlanta.
Those you like that are probably going to be interceptions like they were last week.
Hey, but you'll like it, right? Because you picked the Vikings. So.
If you're a Vikings fan, yeah,
holds. It still holds. What I said still holds. No, but I got Atlanta. I think this is a nice, fun revenge game.
Yeah, the Falcons' pass rush is kind of weak too. So we're talking about. I expect Kirk to be fully under duress in this game a lot, having to get rid of the ball quick. Whereas the Falcons' defense started off hot early in the year, and in the last few weeks they haven't been able to get pressure on anybody. So right. Sam Darnold ought to have plenty of time to distribute the ball. But I'm gonna take the Vikings in this one. I'm actually gonna give a score. I'm gonna say the Vikings 33-22.
Oof, you went high scoring. I was thinking 17-14.
Well, every time I short the Vikings is the weeks that they end up scoring a lot of points.
Fair.
And then the weeks that I say they're not going to score a lot of, they're going to score a lot of points, they end up, 20, 7, 8, they don't score a lot. So, interesting. Don, I see you, my man. Don has got the Vikings at 37-20, 17-point game. 17-point victory. So it's got Sam Darnold going off on Kirk and the board. Kirk and them better run the football. That is just what they better find a way to run the football. Or I could see this one particularly getting ugly. Is it in Minnesota too?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem essentially because Atlanta's on a downswing. I think they lost their last 3, and like you said, Kirk Cousins hasn't thrown a touchdown in any of them, but he's thrown at least an interception. Obviously, it was 4 last week. I don't remember how many it was the week before that, but I want to say it was like 2 weeks ago. So it's like he's not looking great. And as we talked earlier, this Minnesota defense is good.
It's really good. It is really good. All right, what we got next up? Next game, we do have the Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals going there. The Cardinals coming in on a 2-game losing streak, and Seattle's been hot. But it's going to be good, man. It's just going to be really good because I expect both of these quarterbacks at some point to be under a lot of pressure. I think Arizona will be able to get a little more pressure on Geno than they will on than the Seahawks will be able to get on Kyler Murray. But I do expect both of them to do a little running around in this one. But Juwan, what you think?
Oh, man, this is tough. I got both Marvin Harrison Jr. and DK Metcalf. I'm gonna go Kyler. I'm gonna go Kyler in this one. I'm gonna go Kyler big in this one. I just feel like we need that Marvin Harrison big game, right? And it's like it's eluded us. I felt like a lot this season. I think this could be the one.
I'm gonna go Seattle. I like the Geno Smith to JSN connection. I like that connection a lot. I know. I think Kenneth Walker's still out, right?
Kenneth Walker's not playing today,
so that's gonna hurt. But I like the Geno Smith to JSN connection. Given a score, I'm gonna go 24-21. I think it's gonna stay close.
I got 27-24 for the Cardinals, man. Yeah, I actually was gonna go with Seattle in this one until I found out that Kenneth Walker wasn't playing.
Yeah, that sucks.
And Charbonnet hasn't showed me. I just knew he was going to be able to be a really good backup, and he carries the football when he has to fill in for him, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, this might be the week. This might be a big game for Harrison Jr. out here. And if not, at least Trey McBride. Trey McBride is always a problem. Doesn't get talked about enough. I was talking about how folks are going to be talking about Brock Bowers soon. Watch Trey McBride. He's a problem. So I think he can get past those linebackers. But the Cardinals 27-24.
Like that.
All right, let's see who we have up next here. Let's see. Let me check my make sure my guys in here first, see if they got any. Don, I see Don. Oh, Don did the Vikings 37-20. That was an earlier game, so maybe he'll come back with a score on that one. We have the Bills and the Rams going at it. Mr. Josh Allen and company taking on Sean McVay and the Rams, which could be a very entertaining game if it plays out right. Diz, what you think?
I don't think this is going to be close. Unfortunately, Buffalo looks like one of the best teams in the league. Unfortunately for me, as a Patriots fan, I don't like to see them have success. I was hoping on the heels of Josh Allen's engagement announcement last week that he would say, you know what, I'd rather be a family man. I would love to just take a step back, let my new fiance, let her career flourish. This man came out and was better. You know how sick I was? I think that 37-20 score that Dino had for that Vikings game might be the score in this game. 37-20 Buffalo.
Hey, Don. So I see a tab, but you got 22-23.
I wasn't gonna say it. Which
game we talking about? You talking about the Seattle game? It's probably the Seattle games. Yeah, he don't really give a darn about the game because he's a Niners fan. So you know how
you would think he would care.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would want them to. Oh well.
So I believe, bro. Yeah, I believe, bro. Talking about he was talking about the AFC, the NFC West matchup. So 22-23.
Is Akuna Matata healthy for the Rams?
Yeah, he's playing.
Akuna Matata.
He's playing. Yeah. I got Akuna Matata doing big things today. Cooper Kupp healthy?
Yep, he's playing.
All right, because I swear to God, those two have been playing hot potato with the injuries this year. You know what? I'm gonna do a shocker. I'm gonna take the score here in the comments, but I'm gonna flip it. All right, because I hope but nothing but disaster for Josh Allen's professional career. I hope that man has the happiest personal career, but professionally, 31-27 Rams.
That's what I was saying. Everyone was like, "Oh, man!" I was hoping I hope he has the happiest marriage and he forgets how to play football.
And
he got better, Juwan.
And is this in LA?
Yeah, it is.
I hope Shamik Moore shows up.
So fast, Stadium.
Let's go, Shamik. Let's go, baby. Let them know. Never forget. Yeah, I'm going Rams.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills 33-28. I'm hoping for somewhat of a shootout towards the end of the game. That's what I'm hoping. A lot of James Cook, a lot of Kyron Williams, a lot of receivers everywhere. I'm just hoping for some points to put on the board.
That is fair.
Both quarterbacks have been playing well the past 3 weeks too. And the Bills need this too if they want to not only stay in step with the Chiefs over in the AFC, but they got a big one coming up next week. Y'all know who they play?
Who?
Wait, which game?
The Bills play Detroit next week.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a really good game.
Of the week,
I cannot wait. Yeah,
Yep.
That's probably getting flexed
by far.
Hopefully they're not looking past this game.
Yeah, there's not really much. If you look at next week's schedule, I mean, there's some good games, but the only game that even remotely comes close to that just from the eye would be the Eagles and the Steelers. I think somebody mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's not even close.
Oh yeah, no, that game's for sure getting flexed to Sunday night if it's not Sunday night already.
Yeah. So right now, right now it's 4:00.
Oh,
which would be, and as of right now, the Sunday. Well,
Green Bay at Seattle Sunday night is really good. I just looked at that.
That's what I was about to say because we get 2 Monday night games next week.
Yeah.
Don't
forget about whatever team the Patriots play too. It's a potential game of the week.
We said about the Patriots.
No, it's okay. You can go ahead.
I thought this week was our bye.
This week is our bye week.
They take on Kyler Murray next week in the 4th.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, at Arizona.
Yeah, game of the week, man. Game of the week. Christian Gonzalez versus Marvin Harrison Jr. Yeah,
that's gonna be a good matchup.
Man. Yeah.
Indeed. So where are we at now? We are down to right here near the bottom.
Bears Niners, right?
So we got the 49ers and Bears are up next. What do y'all think?
Oh, God. Is there a more fraudulent team this season than the 49ers?
Who is playing for the 49ers? I've spent this entire time trying to figure out who is actually playing. Bosa's out. Mason's out. Obviously, McCaffrey's out.
They're so injured, they went back in time.
Yeah, they got
Kaepernick. They got Kaepernick. They got Michael Crabtree.
Crabtree, man.
Oh, man.
That's how injured they are. They went back in time. They're like, we can't do this. I'm going the Bears. Look, y'all didn't talk up Caleb. All right, this is the game to go show it. Go drop 32 on their heads. All right, go drop 30. Get the dub. We out. All right, this is the game. So you know what? I'm going to go with y'all guy. I'm going to go with Caleb. All right, go beat up on the beat up 49ers. We'll get this easy done. All right, there we go. Bears.
The 49ers injury report has 20 players on it.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. They had to go back in time.
18 of those 20 players are for sure out or on injured reserve, and there are 2 that are questionable.
That's a grocery list.
It's insane. All that said, considered, I'm picking San Fran.
No. You're not telling me Caleb is close to Bo Nix and Jaden, and you're going an injured 49ers against Caleb. This is why. This is why.
All things I'm going. It's in San Fran. It's so they got the home cooking going, and the Bears are they're just a clusterfuck right now. Like, I got nothing for you, man. I'm going to go San Fran, but I'm going to keep it close. Keep it really, really close. I think it's going to be nice and ugly 21-18.
I don't believe the Niners drop more than 20 points.
Don says his Niners are going to win 27-24.
Yeah, that's
which is crazy because I have the exact same score. But sorry, bro, I'm picking the Bears in this one of 27-24. So the Bears are the first team since 1933 when they started tracking turnovers to lose 6 straight games without committing multiple turnovers in a game. That's a crazy stat.
See, they got history on their side, Did you still want to go 49ers?
That was history of ineptness. That's what that was. That was history.
It's history nonetheless. It's history nonetheless, Didge. Bad
That's
history.
Crazy. I'm going with them today. I'm going with them.
I'm curious to see if they win.
All right, so we down to the last two games of the day. Next up will be the good one. The Chargers and the Chiefs are set to go at it on Sunday Night Football. So there's a good night game.
Yeah.
Diz, what you think?
Chargers 31-27. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet here.
Interesting. You think, Juwan?
I'm not letting my heart do it again. I'm never picking Justin Herbert. It's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs. I'm not doing it.
The Chiefs been playing with fire, man. You don't think that they're gonna get burnt?
They could, but it'll be the 1 week that I pick Justin Herbert that the Chiefs win. Not happening. Going Chiefs.
Chargers are 3-18 versus the Chiefs since 2014, including 6 straight losses, bro. No J.K. Dobbins, so it's gonna be about Gus Edwards and the boys. I think Pacheco is back for the Chiefs there, but yeah, it's gonna be a good one, man. I'm watching that defense of the Chargers. They're the only team in the league this year that's given up less than 200 yards, right? So they are tough, man. And the Chiefs have a problem at the left tackle position. They've had like 3 or 4 guys played here recently. And if you notice the past couple of weeks, Mahomes has been under quite a bit of pressure. So, leading to some errant throws and things of that nature. But I still can't go against him, though. I still can't go against him.
Is playing? I might have to revise this. I forgot he was questionable.
Who was that?
Lad McConkey did they say whether or not he playing? Because
last I saw, they said that he was still questionable.
Yeah, that's the last I saw too. Dang.
That does make a big difference.
It make a huge difference. I'm gonna keep hope that he playing and keep my score the same.
Chiefs have won 14 straight games by 1 score.
See, something got to give at some point.
Yeah.
At some point, something got to give.
That's a hater in you, Ditch.
I feel like you just been broken down by Justin Herbert. He's let you down one too many times.
One too many, man. One too many.
Yeah, I got the Chiefs 23-20.
Okay.
Close one there.
23-19 Chargers in the comments.
Yep, that's Don's got 23-19 going for the Chargers. Interesting enough. And that brings us down to our last game. I really don't want to pick this game, but we're going to pick it anyway because it's on the schedule, which will lead us down to Monday Night Football, where the Dallas Cowboys host the Bengals. The red hot offense of the Bengals, not the red hot team. So, and that one is going to go down, like we say, on Sunday night. Oh, no, Monday Night Football, actually.
You gonna watch it as the Simpsons broadcast?
I might have to, bro. That might be more entertaining than this actual game for me.
I'm so curious about it. I might have to as well.
Now, I'm gonna be a man and tell you, call it the big kid in me. So even if I do watch the regular game, I'm gonna have the Simpsons broadcast pulled up on something, iPad or something. So
that is fair.
Juwan, what you think about your guy Jamar chasing them against my Cowboys, Jamar?
Oh man, look, I try to lead with friendship. Yeah, I can't prom. Bengals might drop 30, 40 on you. I ain't gonna hold you.
I don't think there's no might in that. Yeah.
It might get real ugly out here. I ain't gonna hold you. You know what? No, I'm gonna shock y'all. I'm gonna go 27-24 Dallas. Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I ain't mad
I'm going to lead with friendship. It always works. I'm going to lead with friendship. I mean, it hasn't me doing that for Joel and the Giants, but I'll keep trying. I'll keep trying. What you think? It's a hard pick.
Mine is not. 34-20 Bengals.
That's reasonable. He at least gave you 20. Yeah.
That's interesting. It's interesting enough. They won't stop Chase. They're going to be on the chasing the chases. So they'll be chasing Chase Brown. They'll be chasing Jamar Chase the whole game. So it's going to be ugly, man. That offense is just too explosive for Cincinnati, man. So, and we still got some O-line issues we're working through. So Hendrick's going to probably get a sack or 2 on rush. So I'm taking the Bengals 38-20.
Well, I mean, if you're going to say 38-20, I ain't going.
We might drop 40, but I just was trying to make myself feel a little bit better.
Never mind then. I mean, if you don't got faith in them, I mean, damn, 38-20.
The Cowboys could still surprise. What if they scored at least 27 in their last 2 games, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. 27-24.
I don't know. Maybe we can get a scoop fumble again or something like Overshine, or in a tapped interception or something like the Marvin Overshine the other night. Then maybe we can get that. Maybe that gives us another 7. I don't know.
27-24 Dallas. We're not about to sit here and act like the Bengals are this world beater.
They not. You're right. But Dallas also hasn't looked great at home, which is crazy.
They haven't, but if they scored 27 in their last couple of games, it's possible to go 27-24.
Well, let's be honest. If we're expecting, I know it's a team game, so you got to remember those last couple of games we've had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and we've had the the interception. The Overshine tipping the ball and then tips it to itself and getting for interception. So the offense hasn't really done great, but the defense and special teams has helped them out. So if we can get some of that, then maybe we get 27 points tomorrow. So
I'm sticking with it, 27-24.
I am as well. 34-20 Bengals.
I got 38-20. So we
we in the same boat, 34-38.
I say that.
You're doing a lot of things wrong if he's giving up 38 or 34.
Indeed. So that's the show right there. You guys got anything you want to put out there, leave with the people?
Go ahead, Juwan.
I'm looking to do some more basketball talk with Joel, so I'll be letting you guys know about that soon.
Yeah,
because I'm having a lot of issues with this MVP ladder. So I'm going to be doing a basketball talk soon. But other than that, we've moved our show from Wednesday to Thursday so we could talk Creature Commandos. So for the rest of this month and a little into January, we'll be every Thursday at 8.
Just follow me on my socials at dig_DEE. Been learning game development and stuff, so I've been putting out just videos of stuff I've been learning with that. You could take a look at that and then follow Geek Set Podcast. We got some shows that are coming out at the beginning of the year. I actually just finished color correcting those last night. So,
yep. And Dig, don't forget, Prime, before we go, Dig did say the first 100 people to follow him, $3,000 each.
I did not. Don't listen to Jawan. So he's gonna have you in a world of hurt.
Indeed, yeah, definitely let us know about the basketball. Like I'll say this: as long as it's not I'm gonna tell you now, if it's on you say you've been doing Thursdays. If it's on a Wednesday night and it go past 9 o'clock, I can't roll, man. I gotta watch Abbott Elementary, man. I love you guys, but I gotta watch Abbott Elementary.
I'm with you there.
Yeah, I gotta see my Abbott Elementary, man. But that's and if I don't, that's something me and the lady watch together. So I'm not trying to be on the couch, bro. So
we'll make sure we do it at a time that works best.
Or if you started at 8 o'clock, just know by 9, I'm gonna make my point and I got to get off. if it's on a Wednesday, that's what I would tell you. So, yeah.
We got you.
Now, they just had the holiday back-to-back holiday episodes, so I don't know how many new episodes they got, or they're gonna be a break till January, so that might be different. But
they might be on their holiday break.
Yeah, they ran an hour. They ran two episodes back-to-back, 2 new holiday episodes this past Wednesday. So I don't know if they're coming back before January or not, to be honest. So we'll see.
That's fair. We'll definitely be in touch about that. I got you.
No doubt. And as we signing off, Atlanta had just scored, so they're about to be up 7-0.
Yep, Miami scored.
Yeah.
Trying to tell you.
Very interesting, and looks like the Steelers about to punch it in. Well, they're inside the 10, so we'll see.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody for checking us out, man. Appreciate you guys as always. Another great job, another great show, and we will catch you on the next one. SBP Believers, we out of here.